Students, in the last video, I gave you information about how this India Meteorological Department works. I showed you a small video clip also, and the scientist working over there gave you the information on how and what type of work it does. I hope I told you that you visit this website www.imdpune.government.in to get more information about this IMD. Hope you have got. Now let us continue with the next one, that is monsoon model and climate prediction. The tradition of forecasting the monsoon season in India is older than 100 years. Okay, so it is very old. That is the tradition of forecasting. So weather forecasting has been done in India from more than 100 years. That is more than a century back. After the famine of 1877, H.M. Blandford, the founder of IMD, had made such a prediction for the first time, taking the snowfall in the Himalayas as a parameter for this prediction. So, the scientist H.F. Blandford, okay, he was the founder of IMD. So he was the H.M. Blandford. He was the founder of IMD and he made prediction for the first time. So what prediction he made? What did he predict? And how did he predict? See, he took the snowfall in the Himalayas as a parameter. In the decade of the 1930s, the then director of IMD, Sir Gilbert Walker, has underlined the relationship between various worldwide climatic factors and the Indian monsoon, and based on available information and previous recordings related to this relationship, he put forth a hypothesis regarding the nature of the monsoon. So, the director of this IMD in 1930 was Sir Gilbert Walker. So, what did he do? He underlined the relationship between various worldwide climatic factors. So, he compared, okay. See, he compared the worldwide climatic factors and Indian monsoon, and based on this observations, he that is and previous recordings related to this relationship. Which relationship? That is the worldwide climatic factors and Indian monsoon. Okay, so he compared this, and based on this observation and relationship, he put forth a hypothesis, okay, regarding the nature of the monsoon. With the initiative of Dr. Vasantrao Govarikar in the decade of the 1990s, a monsoon model was based upon 16 worldwide climatic parameters was developed. So, this Dr. Vasantrao Govarikar, he took the leadership, that is the initiative, when in the decade of 1990s. So during 1990s, okay, he took the initiative and a monsoon model based upon 16 worldwide climatic parameters was developed. So he developed a model, and this was based upon the 16 worldwide climatic parameters. Now this model was in use from 1990 to 2002. So this model, okay, so from when to when it was in use? From 1990 to 2002. Now mathematical model, that is dynamic. Forecasts are made with the help of mathematical models which take into account estimates of current weather related events and ongoing physical interactions between them. So, this forecast, okay, weather forecast which is there, it is made according to the account estimated, okay, of current weather. Now, related events and also ongoing physical interactions between them. So whatever interactions are there between them, okay, based on that the forecast is made, that is the mathematical models are prepared. Data about current climatic parameters is mathematically analyzed with the help of the Param supercomputer. So whatever data they have got by collecting this, the current climatic parameters, it is mathematically analyzed by this with the help of this Param computer. Various mathematical models based upon daily geographical events are developed by supercomputer technology. So whatever this mathematical models are made, they are based upon daily geographic events. So whatever events are taking place geographically, based on that, this mathematical models are made, and then it is developed by this supercomputer technology. Now, holistic model. In this model, predictions are based upon those parameters used in other models which have the greatest effect on the monsoon. So, this holistic model which is there, see, holistic model. So, in this model, predictions are based upon the parameters used in other. So, whatever parameters are used in other models, based on that, okay, the predictions are made. So, which have the greatest effect on the monsoon. Nowadays, predictions declared by IMD are the collective outcome of various models. So, the IMD, okay, what they do is they study they study various models, and then they predict, and after predicting they declare. So this we call it as holistic model. Now statistical model. In this model, okay, current climatic observations in a region are compared with earlier parameters. So the statistical model which is there, okay, in this model what is done is current climatic means whatever climatic conditions prevail at in the that is at present time, okay, those observations in a region, they are compared with earlier parameters such as oceanic temperature, atmospheric pressure, and nature of the monsoon rainfall of several years. This data is comparatively analyzed by statistical methods, and predictions are made about the monsoon in the present condition. So, see, in the statistical model, what it is done is the current climatic conditions of the region, that is going to be compared with the parameters of oceanic temperature, atmospheric pressure, and nature of the monsoon. See, it is compared with oceanic temperature, atmospheric pressure, and nature of the monsoon rainfall of several years. So, this data is comparatively analyzed by statistical methods, and predictions are made about the monsoon in the present condition. So the data, that whatever data is obtained, it is compared with and analyzed by the statistical methods, and the predictions are made about the monsoon. Presently, new models are being developed at the IITM. Work is in progress at two levels. So, the new models, it is developed at IITM, and the work is going on at the two levels. So, which are these two levels? They are designing new models and developing new technology. So, based on these two levels, the work is done. So which two levels? New models are designed and the new technologies are developing. So this developing new technology and designing new models, at these two levels the work is in progress. The main focus is on development of the radar system and satellite technology. So you know the satellite technology and the radar system, right? Yes. So the focus is done on the development of this radar system and satellite technology. Always remember, any meteorological model depends upon the interrelationship between parameters used in that model and the results expected from it. However, as these interrelationships with reference to the ocean and atmosphere are never constant, meteorological models need to be changed continually. So, see this meteorological model, it's going to depend upon what, upon the interrelationship between the parameters used in that model and whatever result is expected from it. So the relation which is there between parameters used and the results, okay, the meteorological model is going to depend on that. However, these interrelations with reference to the ocean and the atmosphere are never constant. Meteorological models need to be changed continuously. Now, what is going to happen is, even anything is predicted, okay, or it is told, but that is not going to remain constant. You know, weather is uncertain. You can never predict weather properly, isn't it? It might change any moment. So what happens is, you will have to that is, these relationships which are there with reference to oceans and atmosphere, okay, it is going to continuously change. That is why the meteorological models also has to be changed continuously. Now, the next one is solid waste management. So, before starting this, you know, we studied about the India Meteorological Department monsoon model and climate predictions, isn't it? Yes, in monsoon models and climate predictions, you studied about mathematical model, holistic model, and statistical models. So the next one is solid waste management. So that is the need of the hour. You know, there is whatever because of the latest technologies, because of our needs, okay, for our luxury, we are using more and more items, right? Yes, and because of this, solid waste is also generated. Now managing this solid waste is very, very important. It has become the need of the hour. Now can you tell what is meant by pollution? See, pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. These harmful materials are called pollutants. So what is pollution? You know, you have studied lots about pollution, isn't it? You have studied different types of pollutions also, like air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, radioactive pollution, noise pollution. Yes, so see, this pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. So what is the exact definition of pollution? That is introduction of harmful materials, means the unwanted material which is going to be harmful, which is let into the environment, that we call it as pollution. Now these harmful materials are called as pollutants. So which our materials are going to pollute, that is the sources of the pollution, those materials we are going to call it them as pollutants. Pollutants can be natural, such as volcanic ash. They can also be created by human activity. You know, pollutants, okay, those can be caused due to nature also, by natural process, and pollution can be caused due to human activities also. So pollutants can be natural, such as volcanic ash, and they can also be created by human activities such as trash or runoff produced by factories, isn't it? Now see, human activities, they cause a lot of pollution. So whatever is that is the waste obtained from industries, it is dumped into the soil. Some are that is thrown into the water. So all this causes the pollution. Pollutants damage the quality of air, water, and land. So the pollutants which are there, they will be damaging the quality of air, water, and land also. So the pollution, it can be caused by nature also, and by human activities also. Now see, in which different ways do our surroundings get polluted. So which are the ways our surroundings get polluted? Now there are lots of ways due to which our surroundings get polluted, isn't it? So there is air pollution, noise pollution, sound pollution, water pollution. So what happens, because of the industries, they let out the fumes into the air, smoke into the air. Because of this, the dust, small particles enter into the atmosphere, and it causes air pollution. Then due to agriculture also, the pesticides and all, if extra, that is excess amount of pesticides and all are sprayed, then that is due to rain and all, it enters the soil and it pollutes the soil. Then the sound pollution, noise pollution, due to the DJ systems and all, what happens, music and all, because of the extra more noise, okay, which we cannot bear it, that also causes noise pollution. Due to traffic also in urban cities and all. And then water pollution also, due to the waste let out from the industries into the water, pollute the water, and it affects the aquatic life. So these are the different ways due to which our surroundings get polluted. Now see, try this. Observe the garbage collected in the dustbin of your classroom and make a list of the various materials in it. Now that is, there is lots of garbage which is collected in the dustbin of your classroom. In each of your classroom, one dustbin is kept. But actually there should not be any garbage, isn't it, waste. But you people make that is lots of you throw the lots of waste in the dust bins, right? And what are the materials you throw in that? You throw your the sun papers, waste papers. Then you sharpen the pencil, that is thrown into the dustbin. Then what else do you think you can throw? If your tiffin spills, then that also you throw. So how these materials can be properly disposed of? So how actually these materials can be disposed? The waste paper and all, it can be recycled, isn't it? And the pencil, this one also you can recycle it. Then if your tiffin and all spills, actually that should be thrown into the wet garbage, right? Yes. So then if it is broken glass, then that also can be recycled. So everything should be sorted properly. Now, can we do the same with the garbage generated in our house? Think about it. Now, see, whatever garbage is generated in your house also, can you do the same thing with the garbage? Of course, you can do, isn't it? Now, but you will have to collect it separately so that you can give it for recycling, like plastic, glass, then there's a plastic, broken plastic, glass, papers. Yes, all that you can give it for recycling, and the wet garbage should be collected separately. So you can that this is what is done in your school also, and at your home also. See, in this figure it's given to you, that is the solid waste, right? Yes, now this uh, which is there, the sign I mean to tell you, see, this sign which is there, that is the sign for recycling. So you can see different types of, you can see here the waste paper, then the plants, you can see some of the tins, and here is the glass which is broken. So all this paper, plastic bottles, tins, glass bottles, all this are the waste which are generated at your home, and this can be recycled. So the things which can be recycled, you have to recycle it so that it can be used again and again, and it doesn't that produce more garbage also. So the things which can be recycled, you have to recycle it again and again, and it has to be sorted in a right manner. Now see, in today's video, okay, we saw, that is we studied about monsoon model and climate, that is climate prediction. In this you studied which types of models: mathematical models, holistic model, and statistical model. And we started this solid waste management also. So we understood the meaning of pollution and the different ways due to which our surroundings get polluted. Then I told you the sign of recycling is very important. Okay, yes, and we saw which are the garbages which are collected in the classroom, and also the garbages which are generated in your house. Now you people, or you students also, okay, can make a list of the garbage which is collected in the classroom. I'm sure you students will be knowing more about this. So make a list of the garbage which is collected in your classroom, and make a list of the garbage which is generated at your home also. Now let us continue with observe and discuss in the next video.